Success shouldn't feel this exhausting. If you're winning on paper, but burning out behind the scenes, you aren't failing. You're stuck in a psychological bottleneck called a hurdle of stop. I've been there. On the outside, things look great, but I was secretly burning out, convinced I was just lucky and waiting to be exposed as a fraud. I realized I didn't have a business problem. I had a mindset block. Whether it's imposter syndrome, perfectionism, or fear or failure, these aren't just feelings. They are growth bottlenecks. Identify your specific hurdle and get one immediate action step to regain your momentum today. Go to tuepodcast.net/quiz. That's tuepodcast.net/quiz to take the 3-minute assessment and get your report now. This is an Undiscovered Legacy production and proud member of Pod Nation Media Network. Hello, Skoob believers, and welcome to episode 110 of the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, and it's me, Skoob, coming at you whatever device you happen to be listening on. Okay, just a couple of little quick footnotes about this episode we're about to listen to. We had a couple books that we talked about that we kind of missed throwing in the title. So right up here in front, I'm going to let you know what these books are. The first one is Spencer's actual book that he wrote called The Best View in the World. If you have questions about that book or you want to look into it, make sure you look into the show notes. We will have a link for you to pick that up. Also, there are some specific parts of a book that we talk about. Now, the book is called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, and you'll actually hear us talk about that a lot in this episode, or not so much a lot as you're going to hear us talk about specific parts of that book that made a real difference in my thinking and how I put things together in my mind. And you will definitely hear about that in this episode. I want you to make sure that you get a copy of this book too, because it really did kind of stick out for me. Once again, The Code of Extraordinary Mind. Look in the show notes again if you want to see more about this book. Now, we're going to talk about the actual person that introduced me to this. This is a Where the Heck Are They Now episode. We are actually talking to somebody. It's been almost a year and a half now, maybe longer even, since I've talked to this gentleman, and none other than the Prince of Positivity, Spencer Jones. Now, Spencer went from being a struggling middle school core director at the lowest point to creating a thriving business, helping thousands of people step into the light and shine bright. How did he turn his darkest moment into his greatest strength? Listen to this episode and find out. This year, Spencer hosted his first ever Energizer Summit, bringing together people from around the world for 3 days of breakthrough transformations. What made his event so powerful that it became the most memorable experience in over a decade for Spencer? Listen to this episode and find out. After months of frustration and being stuck, Spencer literally asked a higher power for a sign in his sleep and received a dream message that completely shifted his mind and business trajectory forever. What was this surprising message that led to his explosive growth in just weeks? Listen to this episode and find out. So let's actually do that right now. Let's listen once again to Spencer. Are you ready to unlock your entrepreneur potential? Are you ready to break free from all the barriers holding you back? Then you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, your first step in getting across the start line. I'm your host and guide, Skoob, and I'm here with one mission: to help you overcome the obstacles standing between you and the start of your adventure. Whether you're dreaming of launching a startup, creating the next big app, or turning your passion into a thriving business, this podcast is your launch pad. Together we'll navigate the challenges, overcome hidden boundaries that stop us from starting, and learn how to overcome them with the help of others, experience them right along with you. So are you ready to take that crucial step to transform from aspiring to inspiring? Then let's get across that start line together, right here, right now, on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur. Salutations, Skoob Believers, and we're here again with an amazing entrepreneur. We're actually doing a Where the Heck Are They Now episode. Today we're here with the Prince of Positivity. This guy is so amazing, Spencer Jones. Hey, Spencer, how's it going?
Hey, life is fan-freaking-tastic. I'm here with you. It's an amazing thing.
Awesome. I've been following you, Spencer. I've been watching what you're doing. You've been doing some amazing things over the last, it's been almost a year, hasn't it?
Yeah, almost, I think over a year, but it's been a fun, busy, and exciting year for sure.
I do have one major question to ask you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Are you still a Skoob believer?
I am 1000% still a Skoob believer.
Oh, thanks, Spencer. Thanks for hanging out with us and being a Skoob believer all this time. That's fantastic. Just in case this is the first time somebody's coming across you and who you are, let's just give them a quick synopsis of who you are and what your entrepreneur adventure is.
Hi, I'm Spencer Jones, and I love to help people step into their light and shine bright. You all have this amazing light and energy inside of you. Let's help you shine bright. On this whole journey for me, a quick rundown of the story that we talked about, I believe, in the first episode is I was a middle school, high school choir director for 9 years, loved working with kids, but felt called for more. Always been an entrepreneur on and off. Life took me on life's journey, highs, lows, highs, and then I hit my lowest of lows, suicidal, all of that. Learned to love me for me and embrace who I am truly, authentically, and realized I was sick of living lies. Other people were the same way. Now let's help them tap into their light, shine bright. We created a whole method to help people master their energy sovereignty and be their true, authentic selves to live their life to the max.
Fantastic. And it's really important to be your authentic self. And you could find some way to be able to harness that energy to be who you really want to be. That's amazing to be able to do something like that.
It really is. There's so many fakes and posers out there who are trying to want the likes, get the likes, just be somebody else. And it's disempowering. It's hard. And I know because I was that person for 20 plus years. And when I finally was able to be me, it was scary at first. Man, it was incredibly freeing and energizing. And I wouldn't live my life any other way now.
That's awesome. I'm going to be honest with you. It's been such a long time since I've talked to you. Do you remember what our 6-month goal is when we talked in the last episode?
That's a fabulous question. I have no clue because my goals have kept shifting, not shifting and changing in a bad way, but being more and more refined. As we mentioned before we even hopped on here, how life's been going. The business and life has gotten clearer. We've gotten more clarity in the last, I would say, last 6 to 8 months than, I mean, we've had clarity before, but this has skyrocketed it into ultra clarity where now we know exactly where we're going, what we're doing, and all of that good stuff. That 6 months ago, I don't know if we met or not because I don't remember what it is because we've had to adjust and adapt and change to the clarity.
No, we're going to call it made at this point.
I'll take it.
We're going to give you a free pass on that one, Spencer. It's been a little over a year, but what I'd like to know here is your most memorable experience in the last year and a half that you've had. Now, I know you've had a lot because I've been following what you're doing, but do you have any one experience in that time that sticks out in your mind?
Oh my gosh, so many. You're right. It's hard to pick. I can think of our times in the Philippines or different events that we've had, conversations. Biggest one would be our summit that we had last year. We had our very first Energizer Summit where Energizers came in from all parts of the world and we got together for 3 days of learning, growth, celebration, and have an awesome time together. Have these breakthroughs. For me, that summit was a culmination of a 10 plus year dream making it happen, and I'm excited to keep that going. But even more importantly, the biggest memory was hearing the transformation stories of our energizers, hearing the growth that they've had from implementing the stuff they've learned, and not just that, but the connections they've made with each other. And there's people who met. We have people from London there who have known each other from the United States for years, but never met. And then they came together. So the growth people have had, the transformations, and the connections and community that they formed, that will always live with me because that's so amazing. But I'm so grateful for them.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience to meet somebody that you've seen, you and me are on the screen here, but to actually be able to go up to them and shake their hand and say, "It is so nice to meet you in person. I will meet you in person someday, Spencer."
I can't wait for that. I will say for the Energizers, it's almost always a hug. Almost
definitely,
like
yeah.
a handshake. Nah, handshake. Come on, yeah, let's get a hug. We know each other. We've known each other for years, and it's so incredible.
Back in January, I went to Podfest in Florida. And that was my first time doing anything even more close to a summit or anything like that. But the people that I followed their podcasts that were there that I actually met in person, being able to give them that handshake, being able to give them that hug and learn who they are off of the screen was so exciting to me. If you get a chance to meet anybody in person, go to the summit, go to wherever it is that you can meet these people in person and shake their hand and give them that hug and say, thank you so much for following me and all that good stuff. If you have the opportunity to do that, please, please, please do it.
1,000%. Whatever that community is for you, go make that happen. Local, international, if you can, go make it happen. And that just makes me think here, I think you need a Skoob Fest or something like that. Let's get all the whole community together.
We will have a Scoop Fest, or we'll figure out a name for it. That it definitely will happen eventually. Yes, yes, yes.
Weavers coming together. I love it.
We'll have a whole Scooby-Doo thing going, and okay, we'll talk. We'll talk. Also, what I'd like to know now, on a personal level, as Spencer, what changes have you made for yourself, aside from the business and everything else, but for yourself, and since we've talked last?
Some of the biggest shifts is, I'm trying to think of the right way to word this here. Believing in myself even more, because there's still doubt at points to truly, fully believe in myself, even when I start doubting myself. So taking those leaps of faith and doing that. And this is more of a recent thing, but it's been such a big and beautiful shift, is going into a more focused state. As in, what's my zone of genius, as it were? Let me focus on my zone of genius. And now, as I said, the business has shifted, but my life has shifted too, in the ways this is what I'm focusing on now, is this zone of genius. Everything else, let's see how I can delegate it or spend less time on it, whatever it is, so that I could be in that zone more often. And doing that has left me feeling more fulfilled, more energized, more inspired. And I know I'm able to give more to Katie, my spouse, and our entire Energizer community.
Yes, thank you so much for mentioning the zone of genius, because that's something I aspire to on a daily, being able to find my zone of genius and work in my zone of genius. And being able to focus in that zone of genius is important if you want to continue growing in where you are at. And being able to delegate any kind of projects that's not in your zone of genius, if in your zone of excellence or zone of competence, to somebody to where it is in their zone of genius, so they can work more efficiently into something they love. But leaving your mind open to new experiences, new things that you can develop, it's important. So I appreciate you talking about that. And believing in yourself. Go ahead, Spencer.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just saying that for me, I've known about the zone of genius for years, and I've done it. I've tuned into when am I most energized in the day, when am I most creative, and I've done it to various degrees. But it's taken on a whole new level in the last 2-3 months of now let's really hone in on this that much more. So, okay, nope, that can wait. Oh, nope, that can wait. Let's focus on this, focus on this. The other stuff ends up happening for the most part. Like there's times I still have to do it myself, but I do my best. I do my best to delegate it out to our team when possible. And that just, it amplifies everything when you can live in your zone of genius and then give those tasks to other people's. But I do my best to delegate it out to our team when possible. And that just, it amplifies everything when you can live in your zone of genius and then give those tasks to other people's that's their zone of genius.
There you go. That's the way to do it. And believing in yourself, so important. And we all come across that part in our entrepreneur adventure where we doubt ourselves a little bit. We doubt ourselves on what we're doing, and is anybody really listening to us, and that thing to do. And something that I've been focusing on myself is the 4 hurdles of stop. I don't know if you followed me on that. 4 hurdles of stop being imposter syndrome, perfectionism, failure, and fear, and how we deal with those 4 hurdles to get across the start line. And imposter syndrome for me has been the hardest one of them all to overcome. How do you overcome imposter syndrome, Spencer?
Great question. I think everybody who's going for more faces it at some point, and probably multiple times. For me, I look back on my wins and the successes I've had before, no matter the size, and especially when I felt, if I could relate it to when I felt imposter syndrome before, that's that much more powerful. Because I can look back, oh, look, I felt it there, but I overcame it. Look, I was good. I was capable of it. I most likely wouldn't be feeling imposter syndrome if I wasn't eager for it and hungry for that next step, and I wasn't capable of achieving it. So let me fully step into my power, into my light, and have that confidence that, hey, we will make this happen. I already have the tools and strategies. And if I don't, for whatever reason, I'm smart enough and capable enough to learn it and figure it out along the way. And I say that about me, but that goes for all of you too. You are smart and capable enough of figuring out how to make it work if you're not already there. But most likely, you're already there.
That's very true. If you are not experiencing imposter syndrome, that's almost a bad thing too, if you think about it too, because then you're not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. You're not pushing yourself to get to that new level if you're not experiencing some form of imposter syndrome or some form of uncomfortability on that.
At 100%, right? The comfort zone's a beautiful thing because it allows you to heal, allows you to recharge, but that's not where learning and growth happens. That's where healing and strengthening, recharging happens. Outside the comfort zone is about learning and growth, and that usually means you have to step outside your comfort zone. That means you're probably going to experience imposter syndrome to some degree. And I'm smiling as you said it because I'm reflecting even on the last week or so and going, yep, all right, that's why that feeling's there. Okay, that validates it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's okay to have it. It's a normal human experience. If you're not experiencing something that like that in your entrepreneur adventure, you're either not pushing hard enough or you're not human.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We're going to change it a little bit here now on a professional level in
Yep.
your business and that kind of thing. What big changes have you had in the last time we talked?
Last big change I had is a change in coaches, business coaches and such. The coaches I've had in the past have been great and wonderful and helpful, but I realized I was at the end of my time with them, at the end of like what they're capable of, or with me at least, where our journeys were coming to an end. And for me, I didn't want it to come to an end yet. I wasn't ready for it. I'm not sure if they were. I'm not going to talk for their behalf, but I noticed quite it wasn't the same. And there was this tension building up over months. And then it came to a head between the two of us. And then we dissolved the relationship as opposed to leaving. I mean, we're still amicable and whatever, but it's just it makes it tricky. For me, the change was, okay, let me become more aware of when people's paths are separating from us personally and professionally, and make sure we take the needed steps so that doesn't happen again, and make sure I stay true to me and what's aligned with me in the business and where we're going. After taking several months off of having a business coach, like, okay, let me heal, let me regain my footing and ground again. I wasn't even necessarily looking for one. One happened to make themselves known to me, and it seemed really aligned and fortuitous that this would be the right timing and things. So we went ahead with that, and it's been a beautiful experience for the last couple months.
And sometimes the most amazing things can happen to you when you're not looking. That's how I met my wife. It was weird because I just got off of a relationship. I was 5 years without a relationship. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna stop looking, whatever. And then I met her. Finding something when you're not looking, that even more means it was meant to be.
Yeah, agreed. And it felt right in my heart and my soul. And I look on paper, it made sense. Let's do it. And awesome decision for sure.
And don't be afraid to change coaches when you actually get to the point where you think you've learned as much as you can from this person. This person that you hired as a coach, I mean, I'm sure they're great people and that thing, but they're not going to know everything that you need to know for your entrepreneur adventure. When you feel you get to that point where, okay, this is as much as I can learn from this person, don't be afraid to say, hey, I need to move on because
Right.
this is happening, and find somebody else that will get you on to that next level that's past the person that you've talked to. It's okay. They won't feel bad. They have other people that they're going to deal with. It's okay to do that.
100%. The way especially I was first taught with businesses, you have this vessel that takes people from here to there. So my coach's vessel was coaching, got me from here to there. I wanted to keep staying on that ship because it was comfortable and I knew it, but it wasn't helping me get to the farther points. I had to jump ship, change vessels, and first be on land for myself for a little bit. And then, okay, now let's get onto this next vessel, take me to the next level. And we were talking about feeling imposter syndrome. You're leveling up, you're honing in your zone of genius and 10xing your life. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of that term, but 10xing your life, your business. Then you're at a new level. You're at a different level than where you were before. You may most likely need another coach who knows that level, how to get you from that one to the next one, or a next couple of them, and that's okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Love it. So, in the year or so that we've talked here, I'd like to know, and this is a common question I ask a lot of my common question that I ask a lot of my people, but in that year or so, is there a pitfall that happened to you that you're very proud of? Something that happened to you where it's like, I'm glad I had this pitfall or problem because this positive thing came out of it. Besides the coach, because we talked about that one already.
I was going to say that has to be one of the biggest ones of recognizing that and being okay with it. Yes. Okay. I'm not sure I would call it a pitfall as it was. I mean, it was, but it was more an awareness thing. There's two actually that coincide with each other. And that's all with awareness. What month is it? Okay. So about 6 months ago, little 6, 7 months ago, I had the awareness that I've been trying to get farther with business and help more people and grow it. And I was just frustrated. I'm like, what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? And I couldn't figure out what it is. No matter what, I couldn't figure out. So I put it out there to God, the universe, whatever. My spirit guides like, tell me what this is. And so then I had a dream that night. Kid you not, that night I had a dream. I went to bed, say, hey, God, spirit guides, whoever, if you can tell me a sign. I'm really dim-witted sometimes. Just make it abundantly clear what the sign is. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so I went to sleep. Woke up in the middle of the night, let my dog out. No dream yet. Went back to sleep. I had a dream. Kid you not. And it was God, I'm assuming, I don't know, whatever it was, telling me a message. I'm like, seriously, F you. This is so annoying to have this message. It was wait. I'm like, are you serious? I have to wait. I hate waiting. Patience is a virtue of mine, and you're telling me to wait. Okay, fine, I waited. So I waited, as in I woke up that morning frustrated, told that dream to my wife, Katie, and some friends of mine, being like, seriously, what the hell? So then I'm mowing the lawn, one of the last mowings of the year, and I'm listening to this audiobook. And the audiobook's business audiobook. He was talking about his business, struggling. What's the next step? Why am I doing this? And he shared, I realized I wasn't in being grateful every day. And I've been practicing gratitudes, but intentionally being happy. I've been looking for joys in the gratitudes, not just things that make me happy. He's like, I'm intentionally choosing to be happy every day. And he started doing that. And then within a year, he quadrupled his business, something ridiculous. And he's attributing it to that main thing of intentionally choosing to be happy every day. I'm like, holy cow, this is crazy. So from that moment on, I went to Katie and I said, I'm noticing I'm saying this, but I'm not actually. I'm going to intentionally choose to be happy every single day instead of waiting. Because I used to tell myself, oh, when I get this, I'll be happy. When I get this, I'll be happy. Well, I tell people not to do that. And I wasn't for the most part, but there was small things in my life that were sneaky and hidden that I became aware of that then made me go, oh, okay, now I'm just going to be happy. I'm going to be happy for it all. Great. Within weeks, things started to shift and change. And I was happier, more opportunities, stuff came my way. Things started aligning. It was amazing. Now, fast forward a couple months, it's about 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I had another awareness point in my life. And it was, I keep saying we're on the verge of it. But for the past year, I've been around the verge or on the cusp of something big where this just has to click and everything will happen, right? And oh my gosh, I'm putting this energy out into the world of I'm on the verge of it, on the verge of it. And God, the universe will support whatever you vision and energy you put out there for that. Well, I'm putting on the verge. Guess what it's saying? Hey, we'll support you. You're on the verge. You're on the verge. You're on the verge. And that's all it's going to do. It's not going to tip me over the edge. You're just going to stay on the verge. I shifted my thinking and the words I was saying to myself and out loud to I'm here. It is happening. It is started. It is whatever. And started to be, nope, we're already in it. And guess what? Within a week, things started to shift and change. And then it kept going and going and going. When I had that belief and faith and put that energy out there of it's happening, we're here, we're in it, and amazing. And it just started to snowball in positive ways. When I say the last 6, 8 months have been big growth, those are two of the big, now even reflecting here, dang, those are two of the big key factors that have shifted and made that growth happen.
I'm really glad you said that. I am really glad you said that because I'm finding myself doing the exact same thing. When everybody asks me how things are going, I'm like, I have a bunch of irons in the fire. One of them's got to eventually take off, and I'm seeing myself saying exactly the same thing. I'm right on the verge. I'm right on the verge. It's almost there. I just need one thing to take off, and it's going to go. But I'm mulling up right now. I'm sorry. That actually means a lot to me. That mind shift is something that I myself need to do.
And it almost feels, if I'm going to be honest, it feels or felt for me, I was lying to myself. What do you mean we're in it? I don't see people signing up for our things. I don't see the money rolling in. I don't, whatever. But hold on. It's already happening. I thought of it. Someone opened or turned on a hose. That water is already coming. You're at the end of the hose. It hasn't come yet to you, but it's already coming. So trust the process that's coming, or it's starting as a trickle and it's getting to be bigger. Okay. It's happening. It's coming and it's here. And then tell yourself, nope, it's here. I'm starting to see the results of it, and look back and notice, oh, I had this person sign up. I booked these many clients. I have these many podcast interviews, whatever it is. It's already happening. It's here. And trust, keep putting that out there. And you will start to see, if my experience is anything, within the first week, you'll start to see little things start to pop up and be, oh, that's cool. I'm thinking that. And I don't know if it's because I'm grateful for it more so now, but oh, that's cool. Oh, this is happening. This is happening. Now, do we have thousands and thousands rolling into our bank account every day? No, but it's starting to happen. Our big focus is growing our community. So guess what? We're getting more and more people signing up for our newsletters and joining our communities and our master classes. Slowly but surely, it's all happening. And I don't even want to say slowly but surely because it's happening, right? And it's a flood of people rolling in. And yeah, just trust the process.
I will. Thank you. Also, that audiobook, it's so funny that you talk about that because that's how I found podcasting, and that's how a lot of people have found their zone of genius. It's just that one thing that just put them out, flip their mindset into something. Hey, this is working for me. This is the change that I need. And I experienced something like that too when I was podcasting, and I think it's amazing when those things happen to you because you get those butterflies in your stomach and you're like, oh, this is it. This is exactly what I needed.
Right? I was mowing the lawn and my mouth is, oh my gosh, just dropped. And this is exactly what I need. And I was a buzz the rest of the day. And especially since the night literally was the night before, I was asking God, universe, tell me what. Wait, seriously, I hate waiting. I just had to wait a day. Thank God. It knew I hated waiting. So then the answer came. But in any case.
That's one of those shower moments, but you're mowing the lawn instead.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I'm listening to him talk and I'm, oh my gosh. And I'm going, I would love to have a business like yours of building a da, 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 da. And then that was a big shift. I find myself in almost the exact same place. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then, okay, he's probably teasing about how he changed. Some people do that. They tease about, oh, the big thing changed. And they never actually share what they did. Maybe a little bit of it, but not the actual meat of it. Thank God he shared the meat of it because it was a huge relief for me and changed my life.
Fantastic. All right. So here's something I'd like to ask too is now that you've gone through these changes in the last year and a half, what would you tell the Spencer from when we first interviewed? If you could go back in time and talk to that Spencer at that time a year and a half ago, what would you tell that Spencer?
3 things. Spencer, listen to these 3 things and start doing these 3 things. Although I will say I wouldn't be the person I am today if I didn't have those experiences then. There's a caveat to that. Let's forget that caveat and share these 3 things. The 3 things are: watch the words you use, trust, put it out there, stop putting that energy that's holding you back out there, be happy, and trust. Last learning things I shared with you. Focus in on your zone of genius. Focus on your zone of genius is number 2. And the third one would be always make sure everything you do is aligned and the people you surround yourself with are aligned with who you are, with where you want to be. Be happy in the moment. What energy are you putting out there to the world? Be grateful and happy in here and now. To focus on your zone of genius and make sure everything and everybody and all the stuff you do is aligned.
So what, as far as alignment's concerned, what was different from old Spencer to today's Spencer when it comes to that?
The coach. The coach was out of alignment for some time, or gaining out of alignment. Was aligned at some point in my life, but then wasn't for many months.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes perfect sense then.
Yeah.
All right. So we've come to the time here where I want to talk about now your next year goal. Now we talked 6 months before, and I will remember this one, I promise, Spencer. But what is your next goal for the next year in yourself and in your business?
We're going big because I like big, hairy, audacious, scary goals, as Darren Hardy says. So for us, the next goal is to have 10,000 energizers in the energizer community, energy hub, etc. So 10,000. We are currently, just so we have tabs of where we are, we're just shy of 3,000, 2,900, just shy of 3,000. I feel that's reasonable, although I'd like it to be bigger in a year from now, but we'll say 10,000. Anyway, I would love 1,000 people to take our Energy Sovereignty Boot Camp, a 6-session, 4-week program that gives people the framework to master their energy sovereignty and shine their light. So 1,000 people in that in 1 year's time. I think those are two of the main goals. That's where I'm focused on, getting people into our master classes and boot camps and our community. So if we can get 1,000 people in the boot camp in the next year, and that will help people in master classes to do that, etc. And 10,000 people overall in our community, I think we're going strong and in the right direction.
Fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow up with you in another interview, and we're going to see if we've reached those goals just like before. And I can't wait to see if that actually works out. Real quick, though, I'm going to do something a little bit odd, but we did have a conversation before we started recording about some resources we had for nurses.
Yes.
Now, and we talked about this, I do work in the hospital during the daytime. So I was wondering if you can give me some quick information of of what those resources are and how we can get a hold of them so I could put them in the show notes.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, we want to help people who give so much to others, and nurses and people in healthcare. They're constantly getting more and more demands on them and feeling exhausted and drained. And obviously, we love helping people get energized. So what we did is we put together a 30-minute masterclass that will show specifically for nurses and people in healthcare, although we're calling it nurses. In that 30 minutes, we'll show them how to spot the 3 most common hidden energy drains that nurses face daily. We'll also share and teach 3 fast and proven tools that can reset your energy in 60 seconds or less, so that they have actionable strategies and tools to implement in their life and see the changes, so that they can go home with more peace, clarity, presence, and feel like a human again. In addition to the masterclass, because I get it, life's busy, stuff happens, they'll have access to a replay if they can't join live, but we're also providing a toolkit. So it's a toolkit that gives them 3 additional tools and strategies that they can have for quick ones so they can feel alive and human again. So that way, regardless, there's some tools and strategies that they can have. And they're great for everyone and anyone, not just nurses and people in healthcare, but they're geared towards that. But in any case, yeah, you can learn the details. We're planning on doing many of these. We're starting with the first one here, which is happening in the beginning of June. But then we're going to do more of these in the future because we want to really help nurses all around the world. Yeah, you can go to, hold on, let me make sure. It'll be in the show notes. I'll make sure I share it with you. But if you go to nurseenergyreset.wearejonesin4.com, I know it's a mouthful, nurseenergyreset.wearejonesin4.com. You can get all the dates, the details, sign up and get the toolkit right away, and then join us for the masterclass.
Fantastic. I'm not going to expect you all to remember that, so go to the show notes real quick. There'll be a link there. You could just click on. Be a lot easier to deal with.
Agreed. Thank you so much for letting me share all that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, Spencer, this is your time to shine. This is a time where if anybody wants to get a hold of you, anybody wants to see what you're into, how do we get a hold of you and all that good stuff? Okay, ready, set, go.
To get a hold of me and check out all the cool stuff we do, go to our website. We are jonesin4.com. Like you're jonesing for some positivity, some joy. And if you would want to reach out personally, you can message me. It's super easy. Ready? Spencer at Spencer M, as in Michael, Jones.com. Spencer at SpencerMJones.com.
All right. Spencer, this has been absolutely fantastic. I love having you on the program. I love the positivity, and I love being able to talk to you about your entrepreneur adventure. Thank you so much for coming onto the show and doing a follow-up episode with us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to follow up, and I'm excited to see what the next year holds for both of us.
That's right. All right. All right, Skoob Believers, make sure you stay tuned for the wrap-up. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye. All right, Skoob Believers. That was Spencer. It was so great to be able to talk to him again. Had that aha moment while I was actually recording, and first of all, I wanted to say thank you, Spencer, for actually bringing that up and making that opportunity for me to actually get some deep thinking in there. So thank you, Spencer. But as usual, I do have some thoughts about this episode. Stop living on the verge. You are already there. And this is the one thing that really stuck out to me. Spencer realizing that he's been telling himself, I'm on the verge of success for an entire year, unknowingly programming the universe to keep him just like on the verge instead of actually succeeding. And that's where things started working for me too, in my mind and aspect, because I've been doing the exact same thing. Don't let yourself be on the verge the whole time. Stop telling yourself you're on the verge. Act like you're there. Act like it's happening now. And over the last couple of weeks, since I talked to Spencer in this episode, it's been working for me. I can tell already. It's happening now. I'm already in it. Everything began to change within a single week for Spencer, and it's been changing for me too. Choose happiness before success, not after. Most people say, I'll be happy when I achieve this goal. But Spencer discovered the secret is intentionally choosing to be happy every single day first. Within weeks of making this mind shift, opportunities started flowing. Business grew, and success became inevitable rather than elusive. It's all about how we think about things now and what we tell ourselves now. Whatever we tell our brains to think is what our brains are going to look for and what we think we're going to find. If we're going to be happy, if we think we're happy and we tell our brains we're happy, things just happen. It's really strange how that actually works out, but it works. I was very skeptical at first about things, just telling myself I'm happy now, because how realistic is that? It's very counterintuitive at first, but once you actually start to believe for yourself that you are happy, things start to happen that make you happy. And with those great words, thank you, Skoob Believers, for another fantastic episode of The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, and I will see you in a week. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. And there you have it, future entrepreneurs. We've taken another step towards our journey to get across that start line. Remember, every great business starts with a single idea and the courage to pursue it. You've already shown that courage by joining us here today. As we wrap up this episode of The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, I want to remind you that the start line isn't as far away as you might think. With each bit of knowledge you gain, each fear you face, you're getting closer to launching your dream. Until our next episode together, keep pushing, keep dreaming, and most importantly, keep taking those steps across the start line. They'll all add up to big strides in your entrepreneur adventure. This is Skoob, your guide across the start line. Remember, your future is waiting. I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today. Hello, Skoob Believers. Let me ask you a real quick question. How many cups of coffee have you had today? 3, 5, 7? And let me guess, you've got a Red Bull in the other hand just in case, right? Yeah, I see you. Now, here's the truth bomb nobody wants to hear. You're not building a business. You're building a caffeine dependency. Listen, I get it. When you're grinding 12, 14, 16-hour days, you're building something from nothing. When you've got payroll to meet, investors to impress, and visions that won't wait. You need fuel. But what if I told you that the fuel that you're using is actually slowing you down? What if the very thing that you think is keeping you sharp is actually making you dull? Enter Rise Coffee. This isn't your grandma's mushroom tea. This isn't some hippie wellness trend. This is science meets performance. And here's what makes Rise different. Less than half the caffeine of a regular cup of coffee. But here's the kicker. You won't miss it. 6 organic powerhouse mushrooms, including cordyceps, what Olympic athletes use, and lion's mane, what Silicon Valley biohackers swear by. Sustained energy that doesn't spike and crash. We're talking smooth, clean power from morning to moonlight. Crystal clear focus without the jitters. Imagine closing the deal with calm, confident mind instead of the caffeine chaos. Gut health and immune support, because what's the point of building an empire if you're too sick to enjoy it? So here's the challenge to you. Stop borrowing energy from tomorrow. Stop running on fumes and call it a hustle. Stop wearing your caffeine addiction like a badge of honor. Real entrepreneurs optimize, real entrepreneurs adapt, real entrepreneurs win. You can't win if you're crashing at 2 p.m. while your competition is just getting started. Break the cycle. Head to risesuperfoods.com right now and use code PODNA15 for 50% off your first order. That's PODNA15 for 15% off. Try it for 30 days. If you don't feel the difference, if you don't feel sharper, calmer, more focused, more alive, then go back to your 6-a-day cup habit. But I'm telling you, we won't, because once you feel what real energy feels like, you'll never go back. Ditch the addiction, fuel your empire, and rise up. Rise Coffee, energy that builds, not burns.